The League of the Genuine Conversations is back, the only show on the planet where we bring you information, views, and ideas about the important but often ignored subject of counterfeits. For those who have been with us on this journey, yes, we are doing as we promised. We continue the programming to bring you the different aspects of counterfeiting. Today we have a special guest, somebody from the public transport sector. We have the public relations manager of Link Bus. Is it Link Bus or Link Buses?
It's Link Buses.
Link Buses.
But the legal name is Link Bus Services.
Link Bus. And you are called Tom Best Alinde.
Yes, please.
So you're giving us the best of Alinde today.
Yes.
Why would you be called best? Because you can have some worst days or bad days. Why would you be called
Definitely,
best?
yes, that always happens.
For you, it's only best days.
But no, even when the worst happens, it depends on how you juggle to be the best.
But we now have counterfeits which are bringing out the worst.
Sure.
And for you, you are still called best.
Yes, yes,
even
yes.
when we have counterfeits.
How am I juggling the counterfeits is what now matters. That is what still keeps
Maybe
me.
You'll be telling us the best way
Sure.
to be fighting counterfeits.
I will.
You're welcome to the shows. Thank you coming at a short notice.
Thank you.
Link Buses or Link Bus. I was just checking, you have more than 90 buses, 67-seater, plying
Others are 70
more than
actually.
eh?
The Chinese buses are 70.
72-seater.
Yes.
You are plying more than 10 routes. You are carrying more than 7,000 passengers every day. How safe is Link Bus in light of the fact that we have had a lot of deaths on the roads in Uganda?
Yes. Thank you, Council. How safe is Link? I think Link might be one of the safest companies around in Uganda, considering a number of factors. One, you've just talked about the number of buses that we have. Our fleet size is such a huge one, around 90 buses. We're talking about routes. So we'll talk about from Kampala, take that bit through Fort Portal, Kasese, up to the border in Wera. So come like this via the Lake Albert. All that area is ours. Go there up to Arua. All that huge area is in our hands.
You're serviced?
Yes.
You're one bus company there?
No, we're not the only ones, but we are proud to be the market leaders in that whole area. So when it comes to safety, many people definitely will think about accidents. And when you think about accidents, you'll say, okay, Link gets accidents. I think it's not that Link commonly gets accidents. The issue is that Link has got a name in that even if we knocked a goat, even if we knocked a fly, it was going to make news. So we'll be all over. And you know the power of social media, for example, having told you that huge area, the whole of, Rwenzori, Toro, Bunyoro, now we've gone to Arua, we've extended, by the way, up to Kavale district, yes. So that whole area, everyone has got a smartphone, everyone is on Facebook, is on Twitter.
So what's your record? What's your track record?
Our track record, I can,
safety.
Yes, I can really tell you that we are a safe company, because if we are transporting over 7,000 people a day, look at in a day how many accidents do we get? Actually, maybe in a month, yeah. So the accidents that you talk about that maybe could give us the badge of not being safe.
Are you an accident-prone bus company?
We're not. We're not. We are not.
Why? Do people, have you had any fatalities in the last, I don't know how many years?
Yes, fatalities, that is very true. But I want you to compare, just like I've just said, where look at the fleet size, look at the brand name, look at the area that we cover. So it is going to make news, even if you know, I'm not saying border borders are not important people, but have an accident with one border is going to be all over, much more than it will be for a bus company that makes that works on the same route, or maybe on one route, and has fewer buses.
I know
such news never even goes
Tom,
to the media.
you are a PR person.
Yes, please.
And your role is your PR link buses.
Yes.
So your role is to paint a good picture or a true picture,
of
the company.
happened.
So you're saying that you've had some issues.
Yes.
Like an accident can happen.
Just like
not because you are careless, but you could be knocked, or somebody is careless, a pedestrian.
Exactly.
But why do you think there has been an increase this year, especially in the beginning, and last year? Every week we were having serious road accidents and so on. Why do you think there was an increase? What were the factors?
I like to look at usually what reports give us, because when an accident happens, there is always an independent police report that comes out, and many of the reports that have come out have been put on human error. So it
human error?
Yes, commonly it has been human error. Last year we had a fatal accident that happened in Fort Portal, and we lost the driver and several other. In fact, around 20 people surely died. It was one of the worst I think we've had.
What was the cause?
The cause, again, it was human error. That is what the report that
Can
came
you describe
out.
a bit human error?
Well, human error could be out of wrong judgment, maybe by a driver. A driver could probably maybe want to probably overtake
and miss times.
And yes, a driver could get an attack. Yeah, like in this case, it is thought that likely the driver might have gotten an attack.
An attack of what?
Well, health issue.
Health issue.
Yes, because this was a driver who actually had a record of being slow, and some of our customers really hated him. It is surprising that a slow driver will be loved by some and hated by others. So, but this is a driver who had driven for us for over 15 years and had no accident, had been driving on one of the most dangerous routes, the Wondibujo route, and never had any issues around the Rwenzori Mountains. But this just happened at a place that is, you know, not even risky, if I may say, a few, 3 kilometers just from Fort Portal City, where you wouldn't think that he was overspeeding. So it just happened, and the mechanical condition of the bus was proved to have been good. And it was put on human error, so it wasn't really on Link as a brand or as a company.
In some cases, the drivers are tired, and so they sleep while at the steering wheel.
That's very true.
Can you speak to that? The drivers sleeping and then knocking. How many hours are recommended for a driver to drive and then rest and then resume?
In terms, in fact, I think I don't remember very well I need to cross-check, but I think it is not in terms of hours, it is in terms of kilometers. But let's take the journey, for example, from Kampala to Bwera, which is around, I think, 300 kilometers. The driver is not allowed to return. So
Kampala to Bwera, 300 kilometers.
Yes, I think 300 plus, but around there. could cross-check the figures. So
so he goes one route?
Yes, comes
stops
back
there.
the next day. So yes, we used to have issues where you're in Kampala, you have people, you have a lot of demand, the buses have gone, you need them, but now we have a big fleet. So it's something that never puts us on pressure. We have the buses, so you can go and sleep and come back the next day. We have more buses that will go. So it's not an issue for us that we have suffered. Yes, like we just talked about human error. There will be individual weaknesses. There might be some of these drivers that love to go out and party instead of going to rest. But we've still tried to put up modalities with our upcountry managers.
How do you control? The driver reaches Bwera.
Yes.
You tie him on a chain and he
We
doesn't
do
move
not
anywhere?
tie him on the chain, but we work with the managers because they know where these guys sleep. Yeah, we have a relationship with guest houses, and we ensure, yeah, that there's that relationship with the manager to ensure as a way of countering the possibility of accidents.
As Link, do you have a speed limit for your drivers?
Yes, we do.
What is the speed limit?
Yes, we do. And it is the government set speed limit of 80 kilometers per hour. And that's what we respect. That's what we do. We also have put in place a tracking system that helps us to, from time to time, to check on that. Sometimes, yes, there will be these guys who really would want to overspeed. But we have put a lot of contacts inside our buses, like 4 or 5 contacts, so customers can easily reach out to us. And when they do, we always go to the system and also cross-check, were you really overspeeding? And of late with social media, we're really getting a lot of, whatever the driver does, you'll get feedback.
In real time?
In real time.
But the problem is not only overspeeding. Actually, low speed is even more dangerous, or can be more dangerous. If you have a bus or a car on a highway where the speed limit is 80, and this bus is driving at 40, it can cause a lot of issues.
Exactly.
Do you have a minimum speed limit?
We actually do not want to set a minimum speed. I don't know if that is something we should think about. But even in our trainings, usually we do refresher for our drivers. And our trainers, I have attended some of those trainings. Usually our trainers will tell them, drive at the speed you are able to control, the speed you can. So we never tell them, drive at this maximum, at least we talk about the maximum. But down, it is up to you. But now remember, you've got to balance between your interests as a person, your abilities, and the customer interests. At least, I know there will always be customers who really want you to drive like as if it's a private car. Yeah?
No, private car, you're saying we
Private
just
cars
drive at any speed. The reason I'm asking about the minimum speed is because I don't expect a Link bus to be on Kampala Road here and drive 80.
No.
Because that is, so in certain places I think the speed has got to go down. How many of the issues you have had on the road or that you have seen, maybe just talk about the sector. To what extent is speed, low speed or high speed, a big cause of the accidents? Because you talked about human error.
Yes.
Speed
and
now.
it falls there. I think it falls there in the human judgment. Somebody just decides to overspeed. Maybe it's a corner, it is a down slope and corner, and then somebody is overspeeding. Yeah. So of course, when we talk to drivers, many times they will have their justifications why I was speeding because, you know, it is a downslope, the braking system of the bus, you know, if you overbrake, this is Suzu will do ABCD. There will always be those explanations. Sometimes they tell you, there are some sections where they will tell you, here there is no way you can drive at 80, the bus must. But at least those are
The bus must do what?
very, very, like the bus,
It will
you
veer
have
off
to
the
let
road?
it go. No, you have to give it a speed that is a little bit higher than that. There's an explanation they give that is relating to the braking system of the vehicle, which we definitely never give in to. We tell them this is what the government has said, and there's no way you can go beyond it. Yeah. So speed, many times, yes, traffic police has been telling us it is speed, but in our case, in those accidents we've had, it has not, speed is not one of the issues that has come out, at least in the reports, in the police reports. It has not come
I
out.
heard you mentioning a brand of a bus. Can you tell us what brand does Link buses use? And are there certain buses which have challenges in their performance or whatever? What is the preferred brand?
Well, I may really not say now what is the preferred brand, but I can talk about the brands that we have at the moment. And these are brands we've, I think, used for years. For example, the MAN brand, it is from Germany.
MAN?
Yes.
Okay.
It is a very, very good bus that, of course, it has airbags in it. It gives customers a lot of comfort on like on a bumpy road. It has those airbags that absorb that shock. On road bumps, it
Suspensions
shocks. Yes,
and shocks.
Yes. So it is a good.
Isn't it very expensive compared to others?
Well, they are still almost all within the range, the same range almost. I think of late, it is people are looking at now the fashion, the trends. So those MAN brands are German brands that have not, for example, China is now competing a lot with them, giving their buses a little more comfort.
What are the Chinese brands?
We have the Haiger brand.
Haiger.
Yes, it is a Haiger brand. It is a Chinese brand, and for it has a lot of things that customers really would love compared to the MAN. For example, it has adjustable seats. It has 2 TV screens. It comes with charging ports.
So the football fans are watching the matches.
Yes.
In your buses.
Yes. Yes.
You have football there.
Yes.
And music, or you just play?
We have music. We have a vendor that controls our music, so that we don't have our drivers or our staff having to put in what they love to watch. But we have this guy that we check on. Please, there's a complaint about this particular song. Please get it off the list. Yeah, in respect to our cultures and stuff like that. Yes. So
you're saying generally the buses that are plying the routes in Uganda are fit for purpose. They are okay. So the bus brand, bus type is not the reason we're having accidents.
It is not one of the reasons, at least as for us, because even the Haiger brand, which we just acquired, has served for now. I think we first acquired them in 2018. So if we've run, I think that should be around 5 years now. We've run with them and we've not had technical issues that you'd think.
Did you phase out? Because in our days, there used to be, Uganda used to have 2 bus companies those days. People's Transport, Uganda, what was it called? UTC. And the buses used to be called Leyland. Leyland, does it still make buses?
I think I have not seen it in any of the public transporters.
You threw it out?
Leyland. I think, just like you're seeing, trends. Now the MAN brand might need to adjust a little bit.
And MAN, we used to see MAN in trucks.
In trucks,
heavy
yes,
trucks.
yes. They eventually,
so I'm surprised they have buses
they
now.
Eventually, yeah, they have a very, very good bus. Very durable, by the way. Very durable.
Okay, so we need to take a break. When we return, we are now going to talk about counterfeits proper in the bus operations. Let's take a break. We're back with the second segment. We are here with Tom Best Alinde, the Public Relations Manager of Link Buses. He's here to talk about counterfeits in the bus sector. How do you ensure that you don't employ fake bus drivers, seeing us, again, because there's social media? Sometimes you see somebody has captured a video in a bus and the driver is overspeeding and overtaking. How do you ensure qualified bus drivers? Do you have your own school? How do you check that they're okay?
Thank you so much, Council. In the first place, we do background checks. Definitely, applications keep coming in. I'm sure you've not seen us probably go advertising driving jobs. So we surely prefer to get those jobs quietly, and we will always have a bunch of applications. So whenever applications come in, whenever there is need, there is a gap, we definitely go and look and then start on a background check. It is good that we have a body, an association, where we all belong.
Background check means what? You go to the village where the driver was born and ask the relatives?
No, we look at the professional life of the person, where the person started from. We've seen people who start from maybe taxis, he drives, he adds on to his permit and progresses, and then drives for a given time. But we talk to the former employers, look at the track record, yeah, to be sure that this person was not one of those that were commonly in accidents. So the moment we are satisfied with that, then we put you on a trial.
There are cases of forged driving permits.
Yes.
Forged qualifications, whatever you like. How do you ensure that there are no forged driving permit holders in Link buses?
Well, when it comes to that, we have a regulator who is the Ministry of Transport. Yes, who helps us. So the driving permit must have come from the government body that we definitely look at the permit and go and verify that with the government body in charge. But also, the Ministry of Transport now issues badges. So by the time you issue the badge, it means the ministry has also checked. And
a badge,
yes,
on top of the driving
permit,
they
yes,
issue badges.
You can have your driving permit, but then if you don't have a badge, then the ministry is not convinced that you're good enough. And so by the time you issue the badge, there is that check definitely also that the ministry does to ensure that you're fit for driving passengers. It's not like this, you drive.
Do the bus conductors have any qualifications, or do they hold any badge or anybody can be a conductor? Do you need to have a special skill and offer the quality service?
Well, definitely there are special skills.
So somebody can be the best bus conductor in Link buses.
Yes.
What are the attributes of a good bus conductor?
I just wanted to first give this a little bit of background. The transport sector, I think, is just beginning now to come up into the formal kind of world, if I may use the word. We have been having somebody just buys a taxi, gets a brother, the brother starts driving, maybe the cousin becomes the conductor. Even the buses have been like that. But we as Link have decided to try and look
professionalize.
Yes, we're looking at the kind of passengers we have. Do you get a guy who doesn't know how to write and put him on a bus to become the conductor? The conductor is expected, for example, to communicate. So that is a skill. You must be able to communicate. You must be able to resolve maybe issues, conflicts. You must be a decision maker, because at some point where if I am the manager in office, I will not be there, but you are somewhere in Chivale forest and you have to take a decision. Are you going to be calling back and forth? So you need some of those skills. You should be able to write. You should be able to, do simple mathematics, because you're going to handle money. Yeah. So those are some of the skills.
So if we leave the human element in your business,
Yes.
where you are saying you make sure you don't have any fakes in terms of the drivers, the conductor, what about when it comes to the parts? Are you facing any challenges with counterfeits in the inputs, the usable components for the bus? And what are those?
Very, very much so. The only advantage of late we have is that we have set up our own, for example, state-of-the-art garage. We have very experienced and qualified engineers.
Where is your garage?
It is in Rubaga, Kabusu, around Kabusu roundabout. You'll definitely see our
Link
garage.
buses.
Yes, you'll see it. So, of late, that is what I think is helping us, because we have these drivers. When you go to buy a spare part, where do you buy it? In the first place, we buy from authorized dealers. For example, Mobic. If you're going to buy any man-related spare part and you want a genuine one, there's Mobic, and you must.
Are
go
there
to Mobic.
fake man spare parts?
Definitely they are. They
In
are.
what areas? What components are fake?
Well, for example, you can get maybe a gasket that is an engine part that is fake, and you put it and you have issues with your engine, the leaking.
What kind of issues? Leaking, heating up,
Yes.
blowing up?
Issues, yes, because it is not for the standard.
Can that
of
be a
man.
cause for an accident, the car breaking down, the bus breaking down?
Definitely, the engine is the heart of the vehicle. So definitely, if you lose the engine, you've lost the bus. As a company, we are making a loss if our bus is not working.
And once the gasket blows up, it blows other parts also.
Definitely, it affects the whole system works together, and it will be disturbed. So one of the things is we have to ensure we invest expensively but buy genuine parts. Mark East Africa, if you want to buy a genuine Isuzu spare part. Now, when you go to the open market, you'll find all those parts. And by the way, interestingly,
Which parts? I'm interested in the parts.
Let's talk about, for example, you're looking for maybe a clutch booster. You're looking for a clutch plate. Yeah. You're looking for maybe height suspensions for the MAN brand. You will find them on the open market.
The fake versions.
Yes.
Is there a spare part which is difficult to counterfeit, which is not counterfeited, that you know of?
Well, maybe technically I may not give you that now, but much of because anytime you need a spare part, there are guys who never go to Mobic, for example. except if maybe a part has really failed to be found on the open market, which is rare. People will always bring in those spare parts, and people will always fear to go to, for example, Mark East Africa. Why? Because you're going to find maybe Mark East Africa spare part is like maybe 30% more expensive, if we may use the word
Tom,
expensive. Yes.
Tom, are you saying that for the reason that we have a lot of spare parts on the market, it means there is a market for them?
Yes.
It means there are buses plying on the routes of Uganda that are using these fake spare parts.
I may not authoritatively say that.
No, but why would they bring them if people are not going to buy?
I don't know. I cannot
Can
answer
you?
that.
Can somebody stock a gasket which is not going to?
I will speak.
Can you?
for
Can
Link.
you speak? Can you speak on the extent of usage of fake spares in our buses? Can you estimate? Is it 1%? Is it 90%?
I was just checking a report by UNBS. I think that was done. I think was 2017,
That
around
is
there.
2017, 2018.
Yes, and it was putting statistics at 54%.
But those were products on the market. I don't know whether spares were included in that
Well,
survey.
I wish I had read up to that.
They were, I think, talking about things we buy in the supermarket and so on.
A
But
couple.
your point anyway is that 54% could be representative of all other products.
It is very likely. But look, we have several places around Kampala. If you want a spare part, you can go to Bwaise, you can go to Katwe, you can go to Ndeba. There will be vehicles that have been maybe taken off the road, written off, if I may call, and people will always get spares from them.
No, those are
Yeah.
genuine spares from an old car.
Yes.
I'm talking of somebody making a new spare, a fake one, and bringing it to you as a clutch.
Something else that happens, for example, let's talk about a tire. A tire is going to be genuine, but when, let's say, some company puts it off its vehicle, somebody else is interested in buying it, there's something they call retreading. They go and rework on it.
Retreading is putting it back to
Yes.
life.
Yes. So somebody is going to work on it and put it. There are guys who know where the cheap things are. There's something I always see on social media, and they're saying, I have somebody who can do it cheaply for you.
And work the same.
And then you see the results. And it works the same. So we for example, in Link, the average usage of a tire is 1 month. For example, for a bus going to Kasese, at most 1.5 months. And for us, we are writing it off. But somebody else could
What
say,
is your disposal policy for those tires? You are the people who put them back in the market and they make retreats out of them.
no, we don't.
Do you ban them?
We ban some of them, and some of them definitely help us in our garage work. So we use them in other ways. But we have a big place where we store them and until they work, until we reuse them in other ways. So there's somebody who is going to work. For example, some springs, somebody here in Kampala is able to work on maybe some spring. I don't know, they call it, they say kujifumba, tujifumbeko, and it will work the same. Yes. So those things are happening. But for us, we've recently been fighting a social media war against us about fares, saying Link is very expensive. But we keep, and the explanation is their reasoning is, you buy fuel from the same fuel stations, you buy spare parts from the same shops, but I buy from Mobic, I buy from East Africa. You go to the open market and the spare part is 30% less
or less
on the open market, less. So somebody else could choose to go for the tire could work for you for the next like 2 weeks. You go and opt for that. So those are choices. So as Link, what helps us is one, buying from the genuine, from the authorized dealers. For the Haiger brand, we don't have a supplier here. So we get those spare parts direct from China to here.
What about the oils?
The oils...
Is there a counterfeit problem in the engine oils,
yes,
the lubricants?
Again, the only solution we have is to get from the genuine suppliers. But yes, people, we have, of course, even our partners, I don't want to call them competitors, but other bus companies, we have friends that work there, and even our engineers work sometimes, they share knowledge on this and that, but we know stories. You will find maybe a bus company buying an oil from somewhere, and it is very terrible.
But when you come to oils, it might be difficult for you to get a genuine product because the containers look the same, they have the stickers, they have the seals. So you are not guaranteed that just because this looks like the usual engine oil, it is the one. How do you where do you get your oils from?
There are unique, some small unique identifiers, and like I told you, because we have experienced engineers, mechanical engineers, and they know, for example, they will tell you like this spare part, you must find the name of the brand engraved. If you find when there's just a sticker, that is not the genuine. So they know.
Do you engage with the manufacturers of these lubricants, like to go in there for product training? Because you may not know, and sometimes these manufacturers make changes to their packaging and so on. So unless they have taught you, you may have information for last year.
Sure, that's very true. And unfortunately, I think the only, we've not, for example, for the oils, been in touch with the manufacturers. We only trust the authorized dealers, for example. But when it comes for machines like Isuzu, we interface with people. Usually come here and they give our drivers trainings and how do you control this machine. Yes, for those others, we've not interfaced.
Despite your best efforts to fight the counterfeit inputs and spares for your buses, I am sure if you sleep in, what action do you take when you're faced with a counterfeit? Do you take legal action? Do you blacklist suppliers? What do you do?
One, for those parts where we have gone to authorized dealers, we've not experienced such. But sometimes you go to an authorized dealer and the part is not there. You have to look for options. That is when we go to the open market. But the open
what
market
action
guys,
do you take?
The open market guys,
Do you take legal action, like if you spend your money buying something?
You know, this is how it works. For example, you want maybe a plate of salt. You might, through some phone call, there is a guy who comes from somewhere, no address, no what. Yes. So the person delivers, but by the time maybe you go there, the person is not there. So the guy may not have a shop, but has a spare part. I have a guy who brings them, but I don't know where he stays. We've not taken on anyone for the precise answer of your question legally, we've not. But all we do is to always try as much as possible to avoid. That is why commonly we'll get our for the Haiger brand, the Chinese brand, we'll ensure at least we have the basic spare parts in stock quite often to avoid putting in options.
Tom Bestalinde, let's take a break.
Thank you.
The third and last segment of our discussion here with Tom Bestalinde, the Public Relations Manager of Link Buses. Tom,
Yes.
we have been talking about counterfeit spares and inputs. What about the sale of products on the bus? First of all, does it happen on Link buses?
No. No.
There are no vendors of medicine to boost this, or to, not even food?
Not on Link buses. The way we are structured, for example,
So from Kampala to Bwera, 300 kilometers, a passenger on Link buses will die of hunger, cannot buy anything, no food, until you reach Bwera.
that's not that's not true. One,
When I'm talking about food on the bus, I'm not meaning that the vendor of a piece of chicken sits in the bus and goes up to Bwera. I was also meaning, do you make stops and people come on with food and give your customers? This one is selling rat poison, next to him is somebody selling a piece of chicken. Does that happen?
yes, that definitely happens. We try to control it here at our park in Kampala because we do not allow in vendors whatsoever except for newspapers. Even then, we have listed, I think there are 2 who are allowed to vend newspapers.
Red pepper and which one?
We
Because your your passengers,
red pepper. I
why
don't
do you discriminate? You have passengers who may want to read red pepper.
Yeah, and I said
Reason.
news.
So,
because the red
you
paper
said
is
2
not a
only.
newspaper. We said
You
2 gentlemen who vend
Or 2
newspapers.
gentlemen, not 2
Not
newspapers.
2 newspapers. No,
Okay.
no.
Now, let's go to the food
Yes.
or things that are brought on the bus.
Yes.
People sell all sorts of things at the bus stops. Do you do bus stops?
Yes, we do.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we do.
How do you control the quality of things that are sold on your bus
One thing that we
by
fight.
vendors?
One thing that we fight a lot is somebody getting something on our bus. For example, what do I mean? Getting served on our bus. So at the park in Kampala, we have restaurants outside the terminal. So we encourage people to go there because those people are licensed to give food. They are restaurants. Go, eat. Yeah?
Oh, so you stop, people take a health break and
Yes.
food break also.
Yes. Yes.
So there is no
No
possibility
entering.
of somebody getting a piece of chicken from the window and sitting in the bus and eating their meal.
No, in the windows, I don't want to lie, it happens. Somebody, because when we stop, for example, our major stop on Fort Portal route is Mubende. There are people who will want to go out for a health break. There are people who don't feel like getting out. Maybe for security reasons, somebody has a bag and doesn't feel like leaving it, because we also have had issues. You leave your bag, you come back, you don't find it. We have had those issues. So somebody could choose to stay and then buy gonja through the window. But what we don't want is this gonja guy to come into the bus.
It doesn't matter whether he gives the gonja or the fish or the chicken from outside or whether he enters, it is still the same. So now I'm talking about the quality of products that come into contact with your bus. You yourself, you've just said, UNBS said 54% of products are fake. And I'm sure that percentage also is the same on your buses. So
We are in
in
Uganda.
that sense, your buses are facilitating the sale, the purchase, and consumption of counterfeits, unintendedly or intendedly?
Well, I don't know if you are somehow saying we are facilitating and also UNBS is facilitating.
No, because you are providing a platform for the sale and consumption of a counterfeit.
Because I thought UNBS would be the one to screen for us, so and so should maybe buy.
is not
maybe
on your
National
bus.
Drug Authority.
In other words, do you have an anti-counterfeit policy?
Not as
link
yet.
bus?
Not as yet.
You have a policy on the spares, you try to get the genuine. So I was trying to find out, do you have a policy for the safety of your customers on the bus? Do you have like dedicated vendors for food? You're not allowed to sell food on link bus to our customers unless you are a certified supplier of the chicken, certified supplier of the biscuits, you're a certified supplier of the herbs, local medicine, whatever it is.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for. But you're saying no, you don't have this.
We do not have a written policy on that. Though we have regulations about a few things. When, for example, you're a conductor and we're giving you our job, there are things we tell you about. For example, to communicate about, we'll tell you about vendors, about people who are coming to preach on the bus. We'll tell you about.
And how do you protect your passengers against all manner of people who are coming to give them propaganda of this or that?
That's the bus crew are informed on what should. For example, there was a time the issue of vendors had become a problem. The company wrote to all bus conductors a letter warning them about that practice. So we do not whatsoever allow, and we always encourage, if any customer or passenger sees a bus and there is a vendor, let them just inform us and we will take action.
Why I'm raising this is because a lot of the ailments we suffer from are foodborne. Many are waterborne. Diseases are coming from there. So as a bus company, you don't want to be part of the facilitators of this public health issue by allowing your buses to be a venue for the consumption of these things which make us sick. So maybe that's something you need to look at.
Sure.
I want to talk about a general problem. We in the South, the global South, Africa, Latin America, Asia, account for more than 80% of the deaths on the road. We lose about 3 million people every year on road carnage. Do you think it is an attitude problem? We people don't love ourselves enough? Are we careless? Or are we people who are against regulation? Why do you think people in the north are safer on the road than us? Is it the bad roads? Is it the kind of buses? Is it our attitude? From your experience, you've been working in this industry for some time. Why are we like this?
Well, thank you so much. In the first place, I think I'll talk about the attitude issue, behavior, conduct. It is very, very common for us here. Like you go to an ATM, you want to probably withdraw some money, you're in a queue, and then somebody comes and wants to go before you.
While they found you there.
Yes, and they very well know, but they want you to try to resist, and then they will back at you. So that is how we are. So sometimes the other issue I talked about of human error could be related to that kind of behavior, that you see somebody in a small car and you don't want to respect them because you think you have maybe a big car. Yeah. So that is, we have such a bad attitude. So it's a combination of factors. Sometimes you see this guy, the line is clear, yellow, saying, please, it is a thick line, it's not dotted, where you could overtake. But the guy could choose to overtake when it is a thick line. Isn't that an issue to do with? You can definitely see that it is wrong, but you still do it. You reach traffic lights here. The border guy says, for me, I'm on a border.
Those are traffic lights for cars.
I'll not wait for yes. So that is how we behave. And I think this roundabout here, no, the Ginger Road Junction, I don't know if you could take maybe a month or less than a month without an accident there of a border who has been hit
while crossing,
yes,
while the lights were red,
but
and the other cars oncoming
to go fast. So that is how I think we are. But like I was saying, several factors. Sometimes they are beyond us. Our roads are also not as wide. So that could also explain. Sometimes
so we have a
signs,
counterfeit culture. Not only are the parts fake, the clutches you're talking of, the gaskets, even we in the head.
I think if you have walked maybe on the streets of Kampala, sometimes you go and there's somewhere, I think I even saw it somewhere here in Kololo. You find a manhole, it is open, but very, very risky. Nobody seems to care. But also, KCCA could care. But we also steal the manhole covers.
You steal the manhole covers. You steal the electricity,
yes,
whatever it is.
Even the road signs, we steal them.
So what do we need to do to push back against this counterfeit culture?
Well, I think in the first place, we need to sensitize the public. Does the public really appreciate the issue to do with counterfeit? We probably, at some point, by the way, we begin to think maybe there is no better shirt than this. So I just buy this. I think it is the best quality because that is what is common on the market and on the open market. You go to any shop in any town in Uganda, you will go and find the poor quality shirt. So what do you want somebody to think? That there is a better one? We may not think there's a better one. So we've been made to think that that is what is there. So you end up taking that.
On this platform, we sensitize people about counterfeits along the drivers. We have identified several drivers which you can see. Why are we counterfeiting? Why are we behaving the way of... We can't differentiate between the genuine and the fake. The genuine and fake look the same.
Yes.
Affordability, price, we think it's normal, it's convenient. We don't know the danger.
The dangers, yes.
We want to aspire to have a good jacket like yours, so I'll go and buy a fake version.
Yes.
Then we are negligent.
The duplicates.
You see? We are negligent.
Yes.
I always ask my guests, when was the last time you checked the expiry date of a product you're buying? Did you know, for example, that milk, when you buy milk, okay, you buy the milk in a pint, do you know the expiry date of that milk?
Not usually, but by chance last evening I checked on the expiry date of the bread I bought, but it was also because I really overlooked at it. I didn't know the brand. Yeah.
So by accident,
So
you
the
go to the
lady
expiry
came.
date.
The lady just came because I was overlooking at it. I think she thought I was looking for the expiry date.
But did
so
you
she
know
showed me.
bread has expiry,
Yes.
but we just buy.
We just buy.
Milk has an expiry date.
We just buy.
The milk in the supermarkets has a shelf life of not more than 7 days. But you will go and buy milk for your family. You stock on the weekend, and you buy milk which is left with 2 days to expire, and you give your children to take milk, and you'll be proud as a father you're providing for your children.
My children.
But in a few days, the children will be having bacterial infection.
Yeah.
So negligence is a big issue on the consumers, on the brands, and then the last one is ineffective cooperation. Customs is not cooperating with the courts are not cooperating with the brand is not cooperating with the consumer. Which of these do you think is the biggest driver of counterfeiting? Why are we counterfeiting? Which of those?
I think I would point at the issue of, anyway, I don't know if differentiation is the biggest, because even negligence, because we don't care really.
Why don't we care?
The sensitization. We think things are normal. We also tend to trust, to put our confidence into our regulators, UNPS. There's a time I think I bought some toothpaste, and to me it seemed to have issues. I tried to alert the regulator, but I did not get the response I expected. After also several days
of reminding and following up.
Yeah.
Now you can imagine for you,
bitter.
you reported, but the majority of people don't report.
They never report.
But could it be, as we wind up, could it be that maybe we are not okay upstairs?
I don't think so.
You know why? I was reading a report in July, I think July or June, I saw a report. The Minister of Transport said that 95% of border riders in Kampala are mad. That's why they are always knocking and we have accidents. Okay? So could there be a form of madness that is afflicting us to be able to consume in large quantities these counterfeits? Madness. Talk about the madness.
The madness. The Minister of Health, I think, also recently, I think last year, published
They also said
report
we are mad.
that we are
Is
not
it?
okay. But I think I am okay. I think I'm okay. I think the mad people, when they do things, perhaps they don't know they've done them.
And that's madness now. Because when
But
you are
for
mad,
us,
you
we
don't
know.
know you're mad. Have
For
you
us,
ever
we
seen
know.
a mad person who goes on the street saying, I'm mad? Here I am.
Never.
They always deny
Never.
they are okay.
Yes.
So even you're denying. You know? But on a very serious note, your message, we are closing. Yes, we've had link bus. You're doing a good job. You're taking so many people to their destinations. Good experiences there. As a country, we have the anti-counterfeit goods bill. There's a new law.
Yes.
We are passing on counterfeits. Do you think probably that's the way to go? Tighten a bit on the law? Your views
Yes.
on that law?
First, I talked about sensitization. Two, the laws. When people know, then let's bring about the laws. But when the laws are also broad, there will be issues with enforcement. We have always been told that Uganda has some of the best laws, but are we sure that that is going to pass? I was reading, I think in like 2009, President Museveni, I think on the day UNBS, I think, was celebrating 20 years, and the president was saying, please fight counterfeit, because with counterfeit the government is losing revenue. Those things never pay
Taxes.
So enforcement, where do they pass? So in as much as we will appreciate that bill yet to be an act, we should not forget that there is also the enforcement bit of it. But yes, I appreciate if and if it also comes without also the sensitization again.
It wouldn't help.
Yes, so let the sensitization be there, but as well, let the regulations come. When they come, when we are already aware, we also don't love the counterfeits, but we find ourselves there.
You don't love the counterfeit,
and the country is, people are getting smarter each day. I have got to know of recent that you need you want to buy a Samsung phone, you go down there, or an iPhone, and you'll get a phone which you think is actually an iPhone, but has been rebranded from here, worked on, and you buy it and take it home. So I don't know if UNBS also has the capacity to track such things, or are we on an illusion? I don't know. You, the experts, maybe could help us a lot with this.
Anyway, unfortunately, we don't have time. Maybe we shall call you next time for more discussion. But why do you increase fares during festive season? Maybe you tell us that as you sign off. Why? Is it too much love for money, or what? Why do you increase the fares?
Why do we increase the fares?
The route is the same.
Yes.
From here to Wera, but the price goes double.
Sometimes we really get overwhelmed by the demand. How? Our terminal here in Kampala is going to get overflooded with people.
So why do you increase the price?
The buses go. The norm is that you take a bus, it should be full. You bring it full. But during festivities,
it goes one way full and
yes.
another way empty.
Yes.
Okay.
So that
makes
is
sense. That's why you charge
we
double
need
to
break.
recover.
Yes. So you pay. Help us. Okay, you want to go home? Yes. Will you help us, please? Pay for the bus to come back. It's okay.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Tom Best
Alinde,
Link Buses. I hope to take a ride in your bus one of these days.
I'll be very happy. I've even given you
a free ticket.
A free ticket.
Fantastic.
Yes, to maybe the Fort Portal City or the Oil City.
Fantastic.
Yes.
We have had a conversation here about counterfeits in the bus industry with the public relations manager of Link Buses, Mr. Tom Best Alinde. We are stopping here. We would like, as always, to thank you for being a good audience. This program is dedicated to ensuring your safety in the products and services that you consume. We believe that when you are informed, you will be able to make the right decision. If you like what we are doing, don't forget to click the like button, give us a thumbs up, do share, and most importantly, do subscribe to grow the community of this channel. We'd like to sign off by asking you not to be fake, to buy and sell genuine always.